particularly offended by other people's bad habits that are not the same as my own at the present time. The way they always do those things, this and that and other stuff that I don't have the time, money, or energy to do anymore. But if you've got some things to say about stuff I do every day, that is not the same as yourself at the present time. Who, tell me who, that's WHO, died and made you king.
Be me. The highlight of my week is ordering Domino's. I figure I have a bad Domino's because the pizzas are usually fucked up. This order took like 10 minutes longer to arrive, but it was perfect. Pan well done with pepperoni, cheddar, feta, and parmesan, and extra cheese. Finish eating and pass out. Wake up today. Check email. The Domino's sent an email saying they messed up my order and offered me another free pizza. Bros. Welcome to Verbal Salt. I guess that's how I need to end that to have a smooth transition.
That is an uplifting tale. Definitely.
Should have said, my dudes.
My dudes.
It's been another week.
Yeah.
We made it.
It's been a week.
That.
It's getting less and less funny every week.
Yeah.
We're not even allowed to joke today. I was like, oh, cool, April Fool's Day. We're allowed to joke. No, we're not allowed.
Yeah, I haven't seen a single one, actually.
Yeah, no one did that today.
You start to wonder, though, how much, at one point, are we like, do we have a cut on our hands so we're chopping our own arm off?
Yeah.
At some point, you start to wonder that. But we don't know. We don't know how bad it would be. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who fucking knows? What I do know, since it is so miserable, I decided to treat myself, and it is disappointing. Our other whiskey drinker, Patrick, is not here, but I decided to treat myself and get a bottle of Lafroig 10-year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like if you set a swamp on fire and then you drank that. That's what this whiskey tastes like. If you drank what was left, ashes and peat.
Okay.
Swamp water.
See, it didn't
it's
sound
so good
when you said it. It didn't sound good, but
it is. It's amazing. It's fantastic.
Ashes and peat,
smoke, peat, like a peat bog.
Dirty plants.
Yeah, like dirty plants.
Yeah, basically that. That's what he's drinking.
Yeah, liquor stores are essential. I walked into the liquor store. Sign said, we're only limiting it to 10 people in the store, and please be 6 feet away from other people. It's like, that's no problem.
Thank you.
Walk in.
Finally, the world lives on my terms.
They had like fucking 4 employees standing in there. Like you're already
you're
half capacity
now
right
you got 6.
And usually, let's see, depends on which liquor store, but I know like at some liquor stores, they're all in like it's like an island kind of thing, and they're all like really close to each other.
Yeah, it was like that. Just like that.
Yeah, Publix, I went today because I'd eaten a couple cans of my shit, like an excellent can of some sort of tortellini that they are now out of. There is a tortellini shortage at Publix here.
I got some bad news for you, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that doesn't surprise me.
She'll sell you a can, $20 a can, tortellini.
Word apparently got out how good they were. I didn't know about the tortellini lifestyle. But I was
the tortellini lifestyle.
I was relieved to see that as you're coming in, you see the guy who's got the sanitizer, and he's actually sanitizing all the handles on the shopping carts before he puts them back into rotation.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah. It's the first I've been to Publix now, probably once a week for the past 3 weeks, and this was the first time I saw that. So every other time it was just maintain contact with the handle, don't touch anything until I get to my car and get the sanitizer.
I was driving by, I didn't go into Walmart today, but I did get chicken wings at Zaxby's because I hadn't had chicken wings for a while, and it seemed like the easiest option. I've tried to do the takeout order thing from restaurants twice, and I cannot get it to fucking work. The order fucks up, like even just on their website, and it's so irritating. So I just went to the drive-through and I got
any
drive-through. Like I tried to get a steak from Texas Roadhouse, and I couldn't complete the fucking order.
Oh, maybe they're
something like that. So maybe they're swamped, yeah. But I just gave up on that, and so I got wings from Zaxby's, which they're not great. They're okay. Definitely not for the price, but
they'll do.
As always, they'll do. But as I was leaving, I was driving down the front line of the Walmart there, and I was starting to see more people in masks, which I have not seen here too much. But then I saw a guy. He had his Affliction T-shirt. He had his grungy jeans, probably with spangles on the ass cheeks. I didn't notice that. I didn't see
toe
that part,
shoes.
He had the chains coming down, and he had his black hat on backwards and shades. And as he was walking in, he was tying a huge skull bandana around his mouth.
I wonder if he sanitizes all those
and I was
chains.
like, this guy. Yeah, I'm just thinking this guy is so happy now that he can just just openly and proudly walk into Walmart with this skull bandana and actually be treated like he's doing a good thing.
Yeah,
right.
He's a hero.
Right.
He's the skull bandana hero.
He's
People
doing
just turn around and start clapping for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw that they're now encouraging people to do makeshift masks, like scarves and shit. Like they're like, if you can't get your hands on,
Did the
real
CDC
thing,
actually say that?
Oh, I don't know about that. It's just been like news outlets and stuff. Or wait, no, it was Trump actually. And I think he was going on like, oh yeah, scarves are great. In many cases, scarves are even better.
Yeah.
What?
No, they said that the CDC was going to look at that.
Yeah.
To whether they were going to do that.
I mean, it's got to be better than nothing.
Well, I think it has more to do with the asymptomatic people that aren't getting tested but are carrying and spreading the whole time. So if you're wearing a mask, you're not spreading as likely.
Exactly.
So I don't want to out you, Dave, but have you done anything with your hoard of masks? Because your hoard of face masks. Because somebody in like New Jersey got busted for hoarding medical supplies. They literally arrested somebody for.
I didn't hoard any masks.
I heard you had a hoard. You told us you had a hoard of masks in your garage.
I have 3.
That's 3 too many.
Last week,
I never went and bought them. They were just. There's one that I had that I used to use when I mowed, and then I had a mildew problem that I needed to clean up, and I had to buy a mask for that. So they're just in the house. It wasn't like I went out and bought them right now.
I think you need to mail your asbestos-filled masks to New Jersey. Postmarked New Jersey.
I don't know. But what are we going to do with all those smallpox-infected masks that came from Russia?
Give them to the Indians. That's what our forefathers did.
To keep the tradition going.
Keep the tradition alive, Dave.
Hey,
you're all about tradition.
If we can't do April Fools, we got to keep some tradition going.
Dave, since we're talking about you, how are you?
Back to Dave.
I'm doing good.
By the way, that story was good. You hang on to that when the police come get you. It was a good story.
Yeah.
But you're doing well then.
I'm doing well. I'm taking all my extra precautions, and it may seem crazy, but it's got to start somewhere. It's got to start with one person. You got to do the right thing all the time.
Can I be honest with you guys? I've sort of I've backed off slightly on the obsessiveness of nonstop sanitizing everything. I'm still doing it, but I'm not doing it to the insane degree I was about a week and a half ago, because I feel like the obsession was kind of making me more crazy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends
I'm
on
still
in what
doing
setting,
It makes sense, but I can't quite. I don't know. The way Steve-O and I do it is we try not to bring it in. So, I'll do Instacart on the weekend, so I just feel like I'm covered in germs when I get back, and I'll take out my wallet and sanitize all my cards and my cell phone and everything. Wash my hands before I start doing whatever I'm gonna do in the apartment. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you called it? The airlock.
yeah,
Which it's not, but
it's not really an airlock, but it is a get your shit together before you go about your business.
I think it's not so much, and when you use the word obsession, that almost has a negative connotation to it. When right now, if you think of it as an obsession, whereas how can I do this and be smart and plan about it without being a crazy person, be prepared instead of afraid. And, be thinking about how can I avoid this? What are the other things? It's like giving you that pencil. I mean, that's part of my job that I went, I'm going to try this. I mean, I bought all these school supplies for years on end, and all I have to show for it is, school supplies still in the house. I wouldn't throw them away. Fuck that shit.
yeah.
Board of school supplies.
So I had all these pencils that are unsharpened, so I'm ringing doorbells with the eraser, and I'm knocking on the door on the hinge side if I have to knock on the door.
Poking eyes, poking people.
If I need to.
Self-defense.
Somebody starts coming out at me, I need to be able to, if they start to cough, they need to be punished. Get a poke.
Pencil right to the eyeball.
You get a punishment for coughing. I told you not to cough.
Keep that mucus to yourself, motherfucker.
Distancing, and then you just throw it like a fucking shuriken.
Next time you'll get the sharpened end.
There you go.
Right. It's your American duty.
Yeah, it's your duty. Listen, Steve-O, it is your duty as a patriot to give up as many freedoms as you can. What freedoms have you given up this week?
What freedoms? Well, I didn't do shit on my 2 days off. Is that? I mean.
Yep, you're a patriot.
Does that
true
work?
Patriot.
You're a true hero, true American hero.
I stayed home.
Shoved it in place.
Yeah, I like the only time I can say I'm quarantining was
You did
Monday
not
and
go
Tuesday.
to church.
Days when you're not obligated to leave the house.
That fucking so our so Verbal Assault South is we finally received our safer at home orders. And one of the exceptions, one of the essentials is religious gatherings. So they're still allowed to have church.
Yeah.
I don't know if they are.
I think much in the Constitution.
They arrested that guy. They arrested that pastor in Tampa.
They've arrested a couple people.
For
and he'll have a great lawsuit at some point. Probably make a lot of money off of that because it is very much constitutionally protected. Get a religious freedom. So
wait,
you could
the guy was
say,
arrested for what?
Holding church.
He was arrested for. He'll definitely no. That's not going to hold. You can't arrest somebody, but I don't. I'm hoping
in this
that
day and age, there's churches here that are just all doing it video.
Okay,
I mean,
and there's some here too.
Size, it's a mega church, and the whole thing he said was, "Well, we lay hands on people."
Whoa.
Yeah, healing hands.
And that's not going to work over the internet.
Well, that's why, yeah. So, I mean,
God is, he can do anything, but he is limited to physical contact.
It does say in the Bible, any two or more gathered in his name. It also talks about laying on healing hands. So you got to be in an upper room somewhere doing something, physical contact.
An interesting thing is I was on Omega last night, staying up way too fucking late, getting drunk, and the theme the last couple times I've been on there is just trying to get people to tell me like from where they are. They don't have to tell me where they are, but like what it's like, what they're experiencing and stuff. If you've been laid off, anybody who's gotten sick or anything like that. Which while I was doing it, it reminded me that me and my dad and my sister had a conversation years ago about like, my dad he's not a doomsday prepper. He's kind of like borderline, he's just kind of like, oh, I'm ready if the shit ever does hit the fan.
He's got guns, but he don't have the stash of toilet paper.
Right. Very well put.
Sounds like a sensible man.
But years ago, we always, me and my sister and him, we'd had a conversation. We talked about it multiple times, and the plan was, if anything ever goes down and there's no communication, the plan is I get to where Dad is, and then we together go to where my sister is. And I think I need to talk to him just to make sure, solidify that is the plan. Because at the time, I was in Tennessee, he was in Florida, and my sister was in Montana. But now me and Dad have swapped, so I need to make sure that that's still the plan. If communication ends up cut off, I go to
gonna be
him.
Up here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if everything shuts down, like if there's no rocket launches and stuff, it's like, that's pretty serious. If the economy and society crumbles, then. Oh, but the interesting bit is that several people that I talked to implied that this virus was man-made and it's part of a huge, worldwide plot. To do what? I don't know. But
I mean,
it's a common theme out there.
I would not at all be surprised if China did this shit on purpose. I really wouldn't. And there's no, I'm not claiming that. I'm not saying I believe it, but it fucking wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
We at least know they covered it up for months.
Yeah.
And fucking straight up disappeared doctors and other people and people that were reporting on it. We got to fucking deal with China, man. Fuck China.
They're getting crazy.
Communist scum.
And now they want to go to the moon?
Damn it. Now they want to think they can take our moon.
That's our moon.
They can take our moon.
It's in our sky. Can't you see it?
Our flag's up there.
I've seen several photos with the American flag and the moon behind it.
Go get your own hunk of cheese.
Brad, how's it going?
Going pretty good, actually. Not sick. Work is still busy, so that's good. I've already made like $300 in mileage for this week, so that's pretty cool.
Gotta keep that internet running.
Yeah, I got to keep that internet running. We got papers from Homeland Security saying that we're an essential business, so fuck off if you try to stop us. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Got to pull a Steve-O move and put somebody in their place today.
What? I don't do that.
Well, I went to the Wawa, and do y'all know what a Wawa is?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, do you know what a Sheetz is?
Yeah.
It's the king of gas stations.
It's the king.
Yeah.
It's the
Sheetz
best. You can get hot food, cold
God.
food, order it at a touch screen, pick that shit up, see a crackhead. It's great. Plenty of those at the Wawa around here. Anyway, go there, and they've got signs up everywhere. They've got the outside patio and all the seating like saran wrapped up so nobody can sit there. I ordered a sandwich, got my sandwich, got in line to pay for it, and they have strips of tape on the ground that go through the back to the back of the store, and that's how far apart you're supposed to stand from the person in front of you because of the social distancing.
Yeah.
And I get in line, and even the crackheads in front are adhering to the social distance. But
way to go, crackheads!
Yeah,
you're really stepping up.
Finally, they're listening to instructions.
Way to toe the line.
This guy gets in line behind me, and he's not on his line. He's like 2 feet away from me behind me. Like it's 2019 or something. He can fucking do that. So I turn around and I'm like, so are you doing the whole social distance thing? And he's like, nah, man. I'll smile and shit. I'm like, would you mind? And just kind of, give him the stare down, like, come on, dude. He's like, oh, yeah. And then he finally gets up behind the line. I kind of just would every so often hear something behind my shoulder just to have a reason to look around and just check him out, make sure he's not like super pissed at me or any crazy shit, because people are fucking crazy in Cocoa. Yeah. And no, he fucking stayed back. I think he finally realized, like, maybe this is a good idea.
Yeah, maybe that'll change his behavior. Because, I mean, his assumption was probably that most people think it's stupid. I think people have a tendency of assuming that their mindset is kind of where everyone else is too.
I can very much see that with this fella.
It's that optimism bias, man.
Yeah,
Can't happen to me.
ain't gonna be all right if y'all dumb fucks keep fucking the shit up.
I thought it was really cool at Publix today. It kind of warmed my heart that that everyone is kind of following the rules, and not being ugly about it. Everyone's
there
trying
was
to
a
keep
run
their
on the
distance.
grocery today.
And if you end up too close to somebody, you both kind of share a little. Oh, sorry, It's like
Walmart was very different.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Yeah, Walmart is the opposite of Publix.
Yeah, it's no rules, just right. It's the Outback Steakhouse of grocery stores right now. You do what you want, you go where you want, you touch what you want.
Touch what you want. The Walmart way.
Walmart.
Always.
Well, Becca, continue. Tell us about how you are.
Touching things you shouldn't be.
I'm fantastic, but I did have to see something horrible the other night. I went over to hang out with these guys, and Brad was sitting at the table and he was eating, and it was wings, and I recognized it because I had had the same thing the day before, I think. And I recognized one thing in particular, which was a 16-ounce solo cup of ranch dressing.
That's what they gave.
That's what they give you is a 16-ounce solo cup of ranch with your wings. And
ranch.
yeah, and Brad was eating his wings and he looked up at me and he just takes one and he just rubs it like past the corner of his lip like the Joker.
Do it like the Joker.
Making eye contact with me the whole time, and then he just picks up the cup of ranch and drinks it. It was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Obviously,
it was funny.
Obviously, made an impression.
Yeah, it's a real thick ranch too. These guys make their own ranch, and it's thick. Brad seems to think it has blue cheese in it, but I don't think
it's ranch and blue cheese. I asked. I was like,
maybe
this
just a
tastes
little
like
bit.
ranch and blue cheese, and she's like, that's exactly what it is.
You know that shit's mostly soy oil. It's like terrible for you.
Soy oil.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Wait, soy oil is bad for you?
Soy oil.
Yeah, that's not good for you.
Oil.
It makes you have a leaky rectum.
It does do that.
That's what happened.
Because you end up soiling your underwear.
You gotta eat the carrots, my dude.
Steve-O.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to not talk about anything coronavirus today.
There's no chance.
No
chance.
I wanted to find news, and Steve-O, we're going to run an experiment. You have Google pulled up.
Yes.
I want to show people. Type news into Google, and then go over to the news tab. So news, and then go to news tab.
And now
news
tab.
Then news.
Go down and read the headlines you see.
I see Fox's fake news contagion. Americans warned that as many as 240,000 may die. 5 key facts not explained in White House COVID-19 projections. News Today symptoms, small businesses, stimulus checks, face masks. Live coronavirus news and updates. Biden improves his lead and Trump's approval rating wanes, polling shows. Coronavirus, Zoom under increased scrutiny as popularity soars. What? The company Zoom. Zoom is under increased scrutiny as popularity soars. Governor Kemp to issue statewide shelter-in-place order. Yeah, okay, so it's all.
So as far as you go,
there's one story.
Now here's that one's going to contain coronavirus. Even the Biden Trump one.
And
now you have the news there already. Now do minus coronavirus, one word, minus coronavirus, and then tell me what you find.
Probably still corona. Oh.
I bet news.
All other languages.
There's nothing.
It's just other languages. Nothing. I can't read them. The only one that's find it. See, the first one is letters that I recognize. Hoje na Historia, 1 degree de abril. And then skip the next one because I'm not even sure what language that is.
How does this happen?
Yeah, how does this
We've
happen?
been subsumed. That's all the news does.
Oh, here we go.
It is
The Journal
an
Pioneer.
obsession.
Care at home. Cape Breton company hoping to find local what? Local markets for its healthcare software. Oh, that's good. Wow.
You found.
Yeah, there is no other news. This is like
I could find news.
Nothing.
This is like the hurricane coverage here when there's a hurricane but it's worldwide. Because if you're a news organization and you start talking about anything other than coronavirus, you're done. They switch the channel. I mean, I can tell you that
why would
spaceflight related stuff is still out there. Like there's lots of news.
that's still going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can find news on BuzzFeed if you're really looking for news. But the thing is it's either coronavirus or Tiger King.
Tiger King was great. I watched the rest of it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Tiger Soul, man. You guys got to
I
get
would
down.
take
Heard
it.
of
No one
this.
else. No one
This
else.
has
is on
become
the
a
Tiger King.
phenomenon I've heard of, but I have not.
It's
watched
worth it.
Dude,
it is
great.
definitely
that
worth
dude's my
it.
new hero.
Yeah.
I don't know about
Promote
Hero, but I do remember seeing him when he was
That
running
fucking bitch Carol needs to fucking die.
I do remember him. I didn't remember until they showed it on the show where John Oliver had brought him up during the last presidential election season when Trump was elected, and he ran, and I was like, oh yes, I do remember that guy. It's worth a watch, man. You got Netflix, fucking
Man, that's
Tiger King. It's really good.
Every time I'm in party chat with Joe Call, that's all I hear about is Tiger King.
Oh, well,
You gotta watch it, man. It's great. You gotta watch it.
Don't
You're
let
missing
it
out.
don't let it dissuade you, man. It turned out really good. Like you think it's just gonna be a show about a dude raising some tigers and maybe a feud between him and this lady down in Florida. It takes a weird twist.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like Game of Thrones without the shitty ending.
Yeah.
just like it.
Yeah.
So I have a, let's say, how do we call it? An etiquette question,
All right.
especially in these days of social isolation. We're all stuck in our houses. We're communicating online. We're watching movies online. Nobody's going out anywhere. Now, I ask all of you, I ask the panel here of verbal assault. If you text somebody and invite them to something, should they then reply to you? If the answer is no, should they reply to you and say, no, I can't do that, blah, blah, blah? Is that a thing
I see what you're going to.
people should do? I'm asking the panel.
Typically, yes. Okay. Look, I saw it and I was like, oh, I wonder if I'm going to be able to do that. And then just forgot. And then actually Todd asked me what I was doing and I was like, oh man, just vegging out. And then the next day I made that connection like, oh, that's right. They were hanging out and I ignored Nathan and he thinks that I just ignored him.
My question, well, I mean, generally I think, well, he just says no. My question was, I said, hey, I'm hanging out at Todd's. Do you guys have Tekken 7? Because we could play Tekken 7 online. That could happen.
Right.
That might be a fun thing to do. I never heard from Steve, so I don't.
Do we have
don't
Tekken
know.
7?
I don't
I do.
know. Okay.
I don't have it.
So tell me, should you always answer, or is silence considered a no, or a not interested, or could it just be considered busy?
Well, it could definitely be considered busy. I'm sure we were watching TV.
I mean, I've been busy before.
I'm sorry, Nathan. I'm sorry I didn't respond to you.
That's fine. No, but I actually do want to hear what people think, and I'm not asking them to shit on Steve-O. I'm just curious about what people would say about it. Becca, you're really up on manners and shit. Proper manners.
I feel like I have an answer. I just don't like this is a Steve-O roast, and I don't feel this isn't what I was expecting. Yeah, I do. I think that depending on the situation, it is nice to respond with, but at the same time, I also completely all the time forget to text people back, or like I'll see it and then think about a response and then get distracted by something and then it's done. That's it. It'll never come into my head again.
Yeah.
So it happens.
It does happen.
It does happen. Happens a lot. Happens to me at work. If you text me during the day while I'm at work, there's a 50-50 chance that I'll text you back before I get off work. You can ask Brad about that shit.
Usually I get a response fairly quickly from Steve-O, or I'll get one like 10 to 15 minutes later.
All right, so I'm completely lying. I guess I'm thinking about, like a question like, hey, did you get the utility bill? And I'm like, look at it. I did. And then I respond later. Don't you guys ever do this? Come on, I'm not alone here.
No, all day. You can ask Brad, and he will confirm for me. I'm sorry, Steve-O, that he made you look like a liar, but
I don't
Brad sends me links all day long to cute dogs and stuff on Reddit, and I never respond.
Okay, see, now that's a different thing. It just sending someone a meme, I don't know if that necessarily requires a response.
Right.
But if it's a direct question,
okay, but
that's my...
There have been times that Brad has texted me, "Are you working?" and it's taken me forever to respond because when I'm at work, I try
that
not to
usually
look at my phone
means
ever.
yes.
Yeah, that means
my
yes.
answer from a
the way you're working. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe just in the future, instead of worrying about if people are going to respond to you or not, just start changing your questions to "Are you busy?" And then if you don't get a response, nobody's rude; they're busy, right? Just start changing the way you ask the question.
Ask different questions.
Ask different questions.
I've often said, didn't you get my text? I told you I was on my way. No. Flip out my phone to get righteous, and I see that I didn't hit send. And I go, man, I'm old.
Steve-O, check your message thread with Nathan. See if that's what happened to you.
No, I definitely saw it.
I
definitely saw it. And
that happens more than I like that things. But I'm the same way. I mean, if I'm driving down the road, which I often am, and I get a text, man, it's just not happening. I don't do that. And then it just goes to the back of my head. And I might add, my family's in my threads are always pinned. So they're always going to be on top of everybody. Even if there hasn't been a text that day, they're pinned. That means they'll always stay at the top.
Is that something I can
do?
That's sweet.
That's probably some Android bullshit.
That is just sweet, Dave. Could you pin me underneath your family?
I guess I could.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah,
but so, and as you get texts throughout the day, those ones that came earlier in the day just go farther and farther down the bottom, so you don't even see them anymore. And I just forget. So I get that forgetting. I try to be more forgiving when, there are certain things that, like about the bill, or did you leave the house unlocked, or some shit like that. You really need an answer pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point of it. But that still doesn't always happen,
Now, understand that I am someone that you can send a follow-up, hey, respond to me, and then I will.
Hey, respond to me.
Yeah.
Hey, you,
right.
Respond.
That's when you send
I'm not
the
a
meme.
fucking nag. I'm not a fucking nag.
Yeah,
I
but
just wanted something to talk about that wasn't fucking coronavirus. That's all I wanted.
Maybe I was in the hospital.
That's when you send the meme. If Steve-O hasn't responded, that's when you send some kind of fucked up meme like "Hello."
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
No, you know what I did? I put my phone down and Todd and I watched Conan the Destroyer. That's what we did.
Oh,
Oh,
you
yeah.
would.
It's a good movie.
And
You made the right
watching,
call.
yeah, we went with the Destroyer. We've watched Conan the Barbarian many times and the Destroyer fewer times. So it's a classic. It's traditional. Hanging out with Todd to watch some kind of Conan. So yeah, that was good. That was good.
As he quotes the movie verbatim.
Yeah.
He's so good
Yeah.
at
The
it.
more beers he gets in him, the more he quotes.
Yeah. And it's
Oh,
amazing
he had-
too that
Yeah, go
even
ahead.
if you're
Sorry.
not watching it, he still knows these lines from movies from all over the spectrum. And you go, what? It's from the movie, you know? Have you ever seen that movie? No.
I'm totally
But-
guilty of that. I do it all day, every day. And sometimes I realize that I've forgotten what something came from, and then I see it again. I'm like, oh, that's right. I'm not original. I just quote things that I remember from childhood and other times.
I mean, we had some quotable movies back in the day.
Yeah.
It's true.
They say you can give just about any speech by just pulling lyrics from various songs.
Well, yeah, I would think so. I think there would be enough lyrics from songs too.
To just bullshit a speech.
Yeah, if you got that many in your head. Or you're saying just pick one song. Like
No, you'd have to use from different songs.
like
you know.
3:30 in the morning, not a soul in sight. The city's looking like a ghost town on a moonless summer night. Raindrops on the windshield. There's a storm moving in. He's heading back from somewhere that he never should have been. And the thunder rolls. And the thunder rolls.
See, we could turn these into like a Trump coronavirus, one of his press gatherings.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I promise I'm never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you down, and whatever the rest of that song goes.
Never gonna
Yeah,
run
can you
around and
imagine-
desert you.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Yeah, there you go.
You can dance if you want to. You can dance.
You can leave your friends behind.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I meant.
No, really, I will walk
Safety
500
dance,
miles.
safety dance.
I will.
Just to
Safety
be the
dance.
man. To walk 1,000 miles.
That one would be tough because it'd be hard to find a clip of anybody saying "haver." That's one of the lyrics in that
When
song.
you say Hava, yeah.
I keep trying to prompt you guys because I don't know lyrics to songs. Even songs I really like, I don't pay attention to lyrics much. So I'm giving like one line and try to get you guys to pick it up. and
Yeah, all right.
I
I
can't.
wasn't sure
like-
if you wanted to finish it yourself.
No, I don't know lyrics.
Come on,
to anything,
Eileen.
so-
You should have texted us. too
Come on,
soon?
Eileen.
Well, this is all spur of the moment. I didn't plan. This is just conversation.
Oh, I
guess
was
I
making a
could've-
call back to your earlier.
Yeah, you should have
Brad
texted us.
got
We
it.
would have responded with the rest of it.
Could have. Oh yeah.
Something like that. I mean, we'll respond to that.
That's
That's
all.
yeah.
No Tiger King is going to stop me from finishing lyrics.
No.
Well, speaking of Tiger King, here's a clip of Haywood Banks.
Does he have Corona now too?
He might. Oh, wait, I got to make sure that
There
it's
it
not
is.
too loud.
Just like I did when I
Got
was
his
a kid.
homemade mask.
Hello, this is Haywood Banks, and you've probably heard that during the COVID-19 quarantine that Fruit of the Loom has been asked to make surgical masks. And I was, through some connections I can't really talk about, I was able to score one of the early prototypes. This has the patented double wall filtration system. It was quite a hit and gathered a lot of interest at the grocery store this morning. Hello, this is...
It's beautiful. Way to go, Haywood.
There you
Friend
go.
of the show. Friend of the show, Haywood Banks.
See, it's okay to make jokes.
Only he can put underwear on his head and make it cool.
Now, didn't you have something to say about underwear on your head or something?
I do, but I don't have the full article, so we just have to go with the headline from that screenshot because I couldn't find the article. I'll pull it up again. But apparently, here in our locale, we have been recommended. It said Tennessee tells nurses to try diapers if they run out of surgical masks.
Oh, that's right. Wait, here. Why don't I just Google that?
Dave couldn't
But
find it.
can you imagine that the run on the stores for diapers? If they're already
run on
going
the store for like everything now.
I would imagine that diapers are already short. Yeah.
Yeah, I found
See
it.
that video of that woman crying about.
Yeah,
not
I
being-
actually screenshotted that. Didn't just send it to you guys. I sent it to Joe Call. I says, I hope you stocked up because this shit's about to get dry.
Well, I mean, I don't know. There's not really probably anything else to say or to read off of it. And let's see. Obviously, these are not FDA-approved strategies, but sometimes necessity is the mother of invention, Dr. Michelle Fiscus said in the video. You have to do what you have to do to make sure you're as protected as you can be. A slide titled Conserving PPE included a number of alternatives to typical personal protective equipment. In the voiceover instructions on the face mask section, Fiscus can be heard saying, I've seen reports in other countries of people using diapers. They have handy Velcro side tabs and can sometimes be stretched along the head. Genius.
Yeah.
Good to me.
Do it. Put the diapers on your heads.
Put the
Do
diapers on your heads. Do it now.
I remember there being lots of
face.
other suggestions that you had. Or names that you would call people. Or
Oh
something.
yeah. I have to recall them.
See, and in the thread, I have to say, Becca said, "Don't blow your load, Dave."
That's true. She did
Guess
say
what
that.
he was doing?
Blowing his
Blowing.
load.
Blowing his load. Because now when you're like,
Blowing it
"Hey, now
everywhere.
didn't you have some?" and he's like, "I guess so."
Nah, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
He was so inspired in the moment.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I said so much material: ass face, cotton cleft, diaper face syndrome, double diaper chin. I thought something. I was trying to come up with chafy chin or some shit like that.
Chafe chin.
Chafed and Chaffinson chin.
Chafe
You ma-
chomper.
Then they get little commercials, almost like the PSAs during these times. If it's good for a baby's bottom, it's good for your face.
And we love our babies.
Yeah.
Shouldn't that be
I mean,
said
it looks a
anytime?
lot like a beard snood too. So, I could see how the CDC
What? Wait,
now
a what?
Beard.
a beard
snood?
snood.
What's a beard snood?
A beard snood.
A beard snood is it just goes around your beard when you work in food service.
Oh, okay. A beard hairnet. Yeah.
A beard
Yeah.
net.
Yes.
Hairnet.
But it is called a snood.
Snood.
It shouldn't be.
I've never...
Well,
I agree with that.
Shouldn't be that ugly word.
They should call it beard schmegma. Would be a better word to use.
It's
I
like
do think
calling
that's
your
clever, though.
whitey tighties balls snood. It's your
Ball
balls
snood.
snood.
It's a ball snood. Oh yeah. Oh, see, I wonder if they got guys wearing like some sort of. I guess that'd be whitey tighties. Say something to make it where your balls don't droop so low in your old age.
Yeah.
You are exactly right, Steve.
But-
that is.
But does it work?
You're
we have-
evolving with science.
It's called ball reduction surgery.
Oh, wouldn't it just?
Kind of like breast reduction. They just cut a little bit out of your scrotum,
Yeah.
shrink it up a little bit.
Tying it back
It's
up.
kind
Get
of
it
like
right.
hemming pants.
Yeah. You get it done once every 30 years. You probably only have to get it done twice.
That's right.
It's like,
If you're an old guy that hang glides a lot, you got a lot of trips
You
you're
need
gonna
to.
have to go.
keep that
Yeah,
air.
you don't want that Dave, we know Dave has talked about you don't want that bowl dipping. You don't want it to dip down to the bowl.
You don't, man.
You don't-
It's a shocker, man. It'll wake your fucking ass up in the morning. I'm here to tell you.
Man, that's either some high water or some really low sagging balls. I mean, boy, that's droopy.
Just thinking of your balls like when you go fishing and you put a weight at the end of your line and it's just dragging on the bottom of the lake.
Yeah.
Your balls
It's
are just dragging on the
balderdash.
bottom of your bowl.
That's it. You need some sort of an indicator before your balls actually touch the water. Like if
Tie a little buoy to them.
when that tension releases, you know that your balls are getting dangerously close.
They need life jackets.
Yep. A little sack tap there on the water.
Or little
Sack tappers.
life preservers. Like
I can't
for each one.
even begin
Yeah.
to imagine how that must feel. Something-
It kind of seems like something
Neither
that
can
someone
I.
would do for fun, but not in the toilet. Like it's like some sort of weird fetish where you just get a bowl of milk and you squat over it and just dip.
Draw a diagram.
Right.
And you just
Here's
you
your
just,
milk.
You just dip them. You
Call
dip
it
'em
ball
in
You
batter.
teabag in the toilet.
Yeah,
there.
ball batter.
Yeah. Let's see.
Just
Here's the balls. Yeah. All right, and then you got your bowl.
Oh, he's really doing it.
Of
Can anybody
really
see? I
is.
want to see it.
Oh, you'll
a
see it
long
when it's
stretchy
done.
sack
Well,
too.
you gotta get the hair.
Oh, I got here. I'll put more,
I see that. I see it. Now,
and then
the water's gotta. I don't know what that is. The water's gotta have like wavy water thing, so you know it's water.
oh, there. we do this little
What's that? Hello Kitty.
little kitty cat.
I need-
Here,
I need pencil and paper.
there you go. You got waves. Okay, cool. All right, here it is. Diagram complete.
Yeah.
Man, Steve-O, you're in the wrong line of work.
Yeah.
And the kitty's like, what? That's the game, man. And then here,
I feel like you need to
draw.
elongate the stretch. It needs to stretch more though. Those are not nearly,
Yeah.
nearly not
Yeah,
long
these
enough.
You're truly not getting the sensation of the ball day.
Well, this is just
Elongate
MS
that
Paint.
sack.
I can't like stretch it. So here, let's just bring the bowl up to the balls. There.
Turbulent waters, very turbulent.
Well, Dave said it needed waves, so now it's got waves.
There you go. It's clear.
Oh,
It kind of. I mean, is that supposed to be the legs? On
yeah,
the side?
but
it
it
looks
was
like
my first shot. Here, let's
it looks
draw
like
butt
Pinhead
cheeks. There's
doing
butt
a
cheeks.
headstand.
And the cat.
It's a very small cat.
That's right.
It's not drawn to scale, okay?
It's not.
And the cat also doesn't have eyes until now. There,
It's
cat.
a micro cat.
Yeah.
Well, that
it looks
cat-
like it's got a question mark over its
That
head.
cat is like 20 feet away.
That's it.
It's stuck to the wall, and it's looking over.
Looks like he's
Like,
just
oh.
tattooed onto the leg.
Well, there you go, everybody. That's your diagram for this week. So we did kind of talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
April Fools, but I actually had
do that.
an article pulled up
Could be that.
from CNN, who I guess is the authority on April Fools. So the first paragraph they go on about how it's the coronavirus era, and we're having such a rough go of it, and people are stuck at home, and then they say, so let's take this opportunity to clarify something. April Fool's Day pranks are not funny right now. Don't do them.
Man, fuck off. I mean, they've never been funny, but still fuck off.
Sometimes they are funny, and sometimes they're I think the coolest April Fool's thing that I've ever seen was when Reddit made that. Shit, I can't remember what it was called, but it was where it was just a blank slate, and each person, like once every hour or something, could choose one color and place one colored pixel on that empty canvas. And it was like 1,000 pixels wide by 1,000 pixels tall. And over time, it morphed in, like communities got together because each person could only do one pixel every hour or 2 hours or whatever. They had to get together. If they wanted to create something on there, they had to kind of draw a diagram elsewhere and say, okay, I'm going to put this pixel with this color in this coordinates. And it ultimately, I think it was going for like a week or something. And ultimately it
ended up looking like the picture you just drew.
No, it looked way cooler than the picture I drew. Man, Place. It was called Place. If you never heard of it, well, let's see. Reddit Place. And then once it was over, they locked it. Like let's see, Place has been archived. Well, shit. I don't know where to find the actual what the finished product looked like.
I would think that it would be, if you were stuck at home, cooped up as a family, even with a stay-at-home, it would be a great time to relieve the tension as a practical joke here or there, you know?
Yeah. I don't see anything like, I understand the motivation behind, and I know some people that I look up to and respect that also said the same thing, that like, you know, basically the April Fool's is off. But I get what you're saying. You know, maybe, you know, there was a fear that there would be people making Corona jokes and, you know, maybe saying, oh, it's cured, or oh, I have it, or stuff like that. But things that aren't related to it, I feel like should be totally fair game.
Coronavirus is fair game too. I mean,
well, I agree.
Jokes, you know, it's like, I don't really like April Fool's Day at all. I think it's annoying, all that shit. But at the same time, man, fucking, I don't like the fucking joke police.
Yeah, no, me neither. So
you don't like it, don't laugh. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, and putting out like it's going to be bad for you if you put out some kind of an April Fool's joke.
Yes, putting out dictates like, we've got our eyes out, and if you do this thing, we're gonna get together with all of our other asshole buddies in the media, and we're gonna shame you online, and, you know, try to fucking ruin your life and shit because, oh, you're taking this disaster lightly and you're making jokes about it.
Yeah.
Fuck, I need a good Corona joke right now.
What about the kid that was flying from Canada and going to land in Orlando, and then right when they were starting their descent, he started to pretend like he was coughing and talked about, oh, I hope I don't have the coronavirus, and they turned the entire plane all the way back and made them land in Canada.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's different.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like yelling fire in a crowded theater. That's a stupid thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you're posting
I
memes
agree.
online, you know, if you're posting memes online, that's something different.
So here's the Place thing, and I don't know if you've been looking at it, but it's got a lot of really cool little shit in there. And these are all basically communities. You got Rocket League right here. The SpaceX subreddit one is right here. They have a landing Falcon 9. Let's see. Oh, it's the Mona Lisa subreddit. You know, there's all kinds of shit in here. And the different countries got together and made their flag and stuff. It's really fucking cool.
Down there in the lower left, there's colleges.
Oh, yeah. They got a bunch of different colleges. So this was actually really cool to watch as it went on, and you could contribute. And you know, at the time, the only community that I really follow, and the only community I ever really follow hardcore on Reddit, is the SpaceX subreddit. And there was a thread where they were coordinating making this Falcon 9 landing. and people would just claim a color and a pixel, and then they would go and do that. And there were people that would come in and try to destroy it. There's actually there's like a time lapse of the entire thing. Let's see, full time lapse. Let me show you guys. Oh, this is really cool. But this is like 4 minutes long. But you can. So at first, people were just kind of playing around with it. But you could see how at a certain point they
start to show up. There's Germany's flag.
What Nathan doesn't realize is that his internet's doing that choppy thing right now. But we'll try again in a second. Oh, look, this guy I think ended up disappearing from Futurama. But anyway, here, I'll skip ahead. You can kind of see. And there were like wars. There was people would come in and just do black pixels on shit that people had worked on. And I think there was even a swastika in there, and then people just ended up covering it up with black. But it's pretty sweet. We can move on. I can actually just let this play, and we can move on to other stuff. Oh, you know what? No, I can't, because I had a list of jokes that did. You guys want to hear some April Fool's jokes that actually did go through, or that people did?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I kind of went through them, and none of them are great. Like y'all were saying, April Fool's jokes aren't really that funny. And why is this? Here we go. The first one was that. And I guess this started weeks ago, that Public Enemy claimed to have fired Flava Flav.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a hoax. They admitted today that was just a joke. Hilarious.
And was that running up to April Fool's Day?
I guess so. See, I'll read it. It says, rapper Chuck D and his clock-wearing hype man Flava Flav publicly feuded last month after the latter allegedly refused to perform at a Bernie Sanders campaign rally for free. Public Enemy claimed it fired Flavor Flav for after more than 3 decades in the hip-hop group, but Pitchfork reports Chuck D admitted Wednesday that it was all a stunt to promote a new album from his side project, Enemy Radio, featuring a new song with both Chuck and Flav called Food as a Machine Gun. I wanted to make sure I was reading that right. Food as a Machine Gun. Yeah.
Check them out, y'all.
Chuck D said they originally planned to reveal the truth at Coachella, but plans changed when the festival was postponed. Let's see. There was a K-pop star that claimed to have coronavirus.
Hear about that, but don't play anything.
Do what? I'm not going to play
Let's
anything.
hear about that, but don't play
no. There's nothing to play. Yeah. Forbes reports Korean pop star Kim Jae-jung claimed he was hospitalized with COVID-19 in a since-deleted post to his 1.9 million followers. The 34-year-old singer later admitted it was a joke, and not a very funny one, but claimed he wanted to raise awareness as he has family and friends who are getting sick and dying.
South Korea had their shit together already. Like they were the one country that has got their shit together.
South Korea and Japan.
And that sounds like a typical, like, I was trying to raise awareness. That sounds like that wasn't his claim, or that wasn't his reason for doing it. And someone told him, hey, say this.
I'm surprised Jussie Smollett didn't come out with coronavirus.
Who?
Jussie Smollett.
Who's that?
You don't
the guy
remember?
that said he got beat up? The guy that was on TV show?
The guys that he went to get his Subway sandwich in the blizzard, and so 2 guys came up, attacked him with MAGA hats, yelling it was MAGA country.
Right.
All that shit. Put a noose around his neck. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was all staged, right?
Yeah, it was all bullshit.
An Ireland radio station shared a video of a parent who fooled their kids into thinking they had to return to school early, getting them dressed and ready to go out the door. This sounds like something Dave would do. But once they turned down the hallway, they saw the sign April Fools. There is a video, and I guess I'll let y'all see it.
Sorry, more quarantine.
The smart ass kid is like, no, school does not start on Wednesdays.
This has got to be the
have a
most...
good day at school.
See, that's wholesome.
That's
Yeah,
a good
I don't
wholesome.
mind that one.
And let's see. First comment, I don't think that's funny, by Bernadette. Bernadette doesn't think that's funny and thinks that she should make sure that everyone knows that she doesn't think that's funny.
Well, you
You
just
guys-
told every one of our listeners.
Well,
Y'all
I didn't say
thought
her
about
last name.
what this would be like going through this as a little kid. I bet this has got to be the most fun shit ever, right?
No, they
Think
got to do
about-
class online.
I mean, if
Some-
you think about it, we can separate into almost any kind of group and think about stuff that we've all already done and been through. Think about what they're missing right now. Like if you think about high school seniors, what they're missing right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Do they
They're
get to
missing
grad?
their
I don't
prom,
think
their
it's clear.
graduation.
Yeah. I don't think it's clear
Yeah.
if they actually get to graduate or not. They may have to redo the semester.
Yeah. Can you imagine that?
That would
You're
suck.
17. Yeah. What a
Yeah.
drag.
That's one of the things that when I'm on Omegle talking to people and asking them how they're affected is like, especially the younger people, like, this is your 9/11, and it might be worse. It might be
already
worse. Yeah, it's already worse.
It is worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to have a longer impact, like, because after 9/11, it was New York and Washington D.C. that had the firsthand experience of it. The rest of us were kind of shaken up, but other than that, we weren't personally impacted. We didn't have anybody losing their jobs or anything like that. It was just it was a scary time, but you really had. There was
You're still far away from it.
you were still well removed from it, and now you're not at all.
And you think about the government action. I mean, 9/11, you had things like the Patriot Act, things that extended government surveillance.
Which took place
nowadays-
over time, yeah.
Yeah, but nowadays nobody even cares about it. Everybody's fine being watched. But now we've got people, New York license plates, people driving cars out of New York State being stopped and told they have to go into quarantine, like if they go into other states and shit. I mean, some of the stuff going on out there is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I talked to a dude that he said he lives right close to the Florida and Georgia border. And I was like, okay, so what is going on out there? Are they turning people around? Are they making people, do they have like a government sanctioned quarantine? Or are they saying, hey, now promise when you get where you're going, make sure you stay in that hotel room for 2 weeks? And he didn't know. So he was of no help. But I've seen the pictures of the line of cars of people trying to come into Florida. There's some sort of a checkpoint, but it's not like they're testing all of them because we still don't have enough tests. We keep
They
getting
just talk
warnings.
to them for 5 minutes and see if they cough and like, oh, you're
Yeah.
coughing, huh?
Yeah, maybe
Pull
that's
over.
They could be taking their temperatures.
It could be, yeah. Yeah.
Rectally.
But that doesn't, it doesn't help. Taking someone's temperature right now doesn't help because, tomorrow they could come down with the symptoms, or a week from now they could come down with it. Like,
Yeah, but if they got a fever, you get them out of that fucking lawn and go, I don't know, son, you ain't coming in. You have a fever.
I
you're
wonder
not
how many
coming."
people are still going to go out and try to travel somewhere when they are currently experiencing a fever.
How can people not know when they have a fever? Is my
Oh,
question.
yeah,
'Cause
for real.
I always know.
Yeah.
You can feel it. You can feel it in your eyeballs. You can feel
Yeah,
it
I mean,
everywhere.
They'll say, "Oh, that's not it," or "I ate
It's something
bad."
else, yeah.
They'll justify it to themselves because, well, I've taken this time off. By God, I'm going to go on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
No, now is not the time for that.
Yeah,
Like,
but if this person had a vacation plans already set up, and then
Hey, they
they're
put
not
down a
gonna-
deposit.
They put down a deposit. This can't be Corona. That's not this. And
Because
I'm
that's
still gonna go
me.
on
I can't
vacation.
get it. I have a thing. I don't
I'm
know.
guilty of
I think I saw it. Or I know I saw it on Twitter, but I don't know how much play it was getting. It was very interesting to me. There's some kind of a program called Tectonics where you can get data on just locations of cell phones, but not specifically who they are, and it just shows up as like dots on a map. And this dude ran this I want to say simulation, but it's not a simulation, it's actual data from here. He was looking at the time around spring break in Miami, and then shows where those phones went to after spring break.
Using tectonics, we can then zoom in on specific regions. Here, we focus specifically on just one beach in Fort Lauderdale during the month of March.
Oh, Fort Lauderdale.
Again, each of these data points shown on the map corresponds to a unique mobile device active on a given day. You can see clearly that device activity spikes during the 2-week stretch of early to mid-March, corresponding with spring break. No surprise. Now, using an analysis called a spider query, we can actually track movement of these devices over the remaining weeks of March, seeing where these devices went after spring breakers left the beach. As we zoom further and further out, it becomes clear just how massive the potential impact just one single beach gathering can have in spreading this virus across our nation. It can be hard for us to realize sometimes just how connected our world really is, until the data tells the stories that we just can't see.
Well, that's
Really
scary
think-
as fuck.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to put the whole Constitution thing on hold for a while. Just say fuck it and give up your rights, and hopefully they'll
I
come back.
can't say.
Hopefully they'll come back.
Is there a line? Is there ever a point when, for survival's sake, something can be overlooked for a second?
Well, this is the question I'm asking you.
Yeah, I
Like,
think that this
What is the line? What is the line? And what is the danger of later on those rights not coming back the way they were?
Well,
That's
that
the
that
question.
is
Same
a
thing
scary
happened
thought.
at 9/11. Like, we didn't get all our shit back after that.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they extended it.
Yeah, and
It expired last year or this year, and they extended it.
yeah, so I'm not down with them suspending the whole Constitution just because we won't get it back. We've had evidence of that in the past, that they don't give back the rights, or they give them back what you have to pay for them, like pre-check, TSA pre-check. Get all your pre-9/11 rights back as long as you pay $240 for 3 years or something like that.
I think
Yeah,
that
for a deep background check and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
I think that like our hands are tied at this point, because if we I still think that if we just use straight data and science, we're not doing enough. And if it were possible, and I don't think that this is something that should be done, but if it were possible to freeze everybody, I think I actually heard this on John Oliver earlier. We were watching.
You did, I
Yeah.
remember.
If you could freeze everybody in place for 2 weeks, then we could have this thing licked, and it wouldn't have as much of a widespread impact. But as it is right now, we're going to have a pretty bad go with our economy and stuff. Like, the whole world's going to be fucked for a little while because this wasn't handled properly. And properly is, we should have stopped all air travel, and everybody should have just stayed the fuck put until
We
the
should have
people
closed the borders.
until
We should have
everybody
closed the borders and just full China-esque lockdown.
until everybody that had it got over it, and then maybe we would have been okay. But
They would have
hindsight's
still had to keep the
2020.
borders closed.
I'm not saying that like they should have done this and they're stupid for not doing it, but in hindsight, it's like, wow, that's really what we should have done. Everybody should have just stayed put for 2 weeks and let the virus run its course on the people that did end up getting it.
Yeah, I guess that hopefully maybe that'll be what comes out of this once it actually is, things kind of get back to normal, is the idea that, okay, we'll have new procedures in place to, okay, if something like this does happen in, say, China or wherever it might be, okay, we're going to stop air travel. We're going to stop, air travel is going to be domestic only for this amount of time.
Right.
If you're a U.S. citizen and you want to come over, okay, where were you? Okay, you were over there. That's fine. Okay, you were in this country.
Or you
okay,
have to
you might
quarantine.
have to be quarantined.
If you have to come
Yeah,
back
right.
from somewhere else, sorry, you just have to be quarantined.
That would be a case by case thing. The thing is, constitutionally, that's fine. the thing where you start to get into trouble and where your rights start to get eroded is what you can and can't do in the United States as citizens.
Right,
And
crossing
that's
state
where we
lines,
have to that's where we have to have these conversations. These conversations need to be had now so that it's in the lawmakers' consciousness. They know that people are concerned about it. So when the time comes, those things don't go away.
Yeah.
It's not like we just shut our mouths and lay down and go, okay, do whatever you want because we want to be safe.
Absolutely.
No, because there's a give and take. If you want to be free, there's responsibility and there's danger as well. So all these conversations have to happen.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that they will. And that's the scary thing, is that it's going to be set up in some way that they can just claim. I mean, because there's been lots of, I guess they're epidemics that have happened that I can remember. You know, Ebola and SARS and swine flu, mad cow. That pretty well, as far as we can tell, you know, here in the U.S. I'm sure
the
other
thing
places.
is they're not as transmissible.
Right. They're not as highly
like what
contagious.
happened with Ebola was that a non-dangerous variant came into, like, it mutated. People got the non-dangerous variant and it basically immunized them. That's why, like, this recent Ebola outbreak in Africa a couple of years ago,
right?
That's why it died out. And SARS was just, they were able to identify those cases really quickly. And SARS was actually way worse than this as far as the fatality and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was quick to identify, and this thing isn't. So that's kind of the issue with that.
Yeah, it's like it's like the perfect virus. It starts showing signs after 2 days and sometimes 14 days. It's hard to identify, and it's easily transmitted.
Yeah. And a question I would like to hear addressed. I know I've heard Trump and others talking about, okay, we need to get ventilators. Okay, so what's the number of ventilators that we need to get? Let's say a stockpile that we could conceivably cover the numbers of people that would get sick to then maybe open up society a little bit, let people go back to work.
That's a good idea.
You know, if we have the structure set up, are they working toward that to have enough?
There should be a warehouse somewhere in the middle of the country where they just have a shitload of them, and
there will be in the future. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, and masks and all this stuff.
Toward that, if we work toward that, then we won't have 30% unemployment. It's like
he said today that they're looking into building 2 more of these hospital ships that they sent to L.A. and New York.
Don't those hospital ships still take a long time, even if you have 24-hour ships?
Yeah. Well, what he said was they're either going to take an existing ship and I guess retrofit it, or build a new one. And he left it with, we'll probably build a couple of brand new ones. But it would be but then those are something that you have to maintain. Whereas if you make a bunch of ventilators and the masks and everything, you can put those in a warehouse, and as long as it's a properly maintained or it's set up a certain way, you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to maintain it except to keep the building running, pay the power bill. But yeah, that's what they should do.
Strategic medical supply,
like
a strategic oil reserve, strategic medical reserve.
Yeah,
they do already have that. It's just that they're dipping in it and it's going quick.
Yeah, we never foresaw this. I don't think anybody all the way up. I don't think anybody foresaw this.
And I don't often have opinions on things, but this, I feel like I did. Like I'm a part of this along with every other person in the entire world, and I think that the way that it's being handled is irresponsible. And I know that it's impossible to get the entire world on the same page, every single human being, but that's not possible. And people are going to die regardless of how this is handled. I just think I don't like what I'm currently doing. I don't think it's responsible.
You're saying everybody, you would support everybody being forced to lock down and nobody leaves their house, nobody does anything.
I think in order for anything to progress ever again in society, we have to be alive. And we have to be able to rebuild and keep and move forward. And if we don't do anything to stop this, how will it stop?
Yeah.
Like pulling off a Band-Aid, you do it quick and it hurts, but it doesn't hurt as long as if you peel it off slowly.
Right. It's
Yeah.
going to suck for a minute, but how long are we going to just sit here and live and suck?
Yeah.
Like it's something needs to be done.
Like we're in a
And
position where we do get to work. Magically, we're considered essential, but it's
Right. Are you ready to give up your job? I mean, that's
Yes.
Yeah.
that's what you have to.
Yeah. I mean, along
Yes.
with everybody else. I mean, everybody, like, I don't know if it's I think it's most Americans and most of the world has given up their jobs for right now. And if we had decided that we're putting that, you know, every country decides independently, I'm assuming, but that we're going on lockdown, we're shutting down everything except for, like, I feel like the list of essential personnel is a little broad. Like, you do need to have utility workers. You got to keep the power going because people got shit in their fridge, and you know people have certain things at their homes and hospitals. Everything, you got to keep the electricity on. You got to.
And trash pickup. You
Yeah,
have
stuff
to.
like that. You have to. But those people also aren't in close contact with people while they're doing their jobs. But people like us, we are, and we're doing everything we can to make sure we're staying safe. But I would be willing to have everything shut down for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, whatever it is, have the government give me a stipend and let this run its course. We'd be through this so much faster. And it would have less of an impact on the economy. We could go back to normal much sooner if we had done all these things. And they're talking like it's just, we can't do that. I've heard too many people say, oh, well, what are we going to do? We're going to shut everything down? Yes, that's what we should have done. Now we can't, you know, maybe, I mean, we still could, I guess, but then we're already so deep in this thing, and so many people are already out of work that they would only have to be out of work longer, which I guess they're going to have to be anyway. So yeah, I would not be opposed to a complete lockdown, all, you know, restaurant, anything that is not literally essential. You know, the essentials list is kind of funny.
Okay, you would agree to it, but what about those that don't agree to it? Would you then support the forced incarceration of those people? If somebody just says, I want to go for a drive, I want to go out here, well, you don't need to do that. You need to be in your house. Would you then be in support of the police at the point of a gun saying, no, you're arrested and we're putting you in a detention center because we've all decided this is what we're going to do?
It's not.
That is a tough one.
That's what I'm saying is where is there a line for the survival of the human race? Is there a line people are willing to cross?
This isn't a survival of the human race situation, though.
Yeah.
If it was, we would have closed the borders.
No, I understand that, but it's still an epidemic. It's still a very big problem that is killing a lot of people, and it's going to. People are going to die.
And then,
that's what I'm asking you then is then would you support the forced incarceration of people that disagree with that order?
I wouldn't call it support. I would call it everybody doing what they're responsible for doing to ensure that progress is still being made.
But there are people that won't do it then. Okay. But that's the thing. There are people that absolutely won't do it. So then what then do we do?
Well, there would be rules as far as, I mean, in my imagination, it would be, you know, if you're going to drive somewhere, there's nowhere to drive to because none of the businesses are open. So maybe you're going to a park and you're going for a jog. All right, well, you've done that and you're by yourself. But if you have you know more than a couple people, or maybe if it's more than just the people that you live with, then you can't do it. It's not that you can't be outside, it's that you can't be close to people for that time. What about that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they do have rules about how police can break up gatherings of 10 or more people, as far as I understand.
Yeah.
But even that's too much. If you have more than just the people that you live with, because anybody that you live with, they have what you have anyway. So it's kind of pointless to try to keep those people apart.
So that's what you would allow, but other things you would enforce the violations of that.
Yeah. Yeah. For the 2 weeks or a month or whatever. I mean,
it's such a short period of time to ask people to give up on being able to do whatever the fuck they want to do. It's selfish as fuck.
Well, how do you know what somebody had to do might be very important? Was like, how do you?
Yeah,
But what could they do?
Everybody is missing things that are very important, and we will continue to miss things that are very important if nothing is done. It's going to just keep going on.
How long do you want to miss important things for? 2 weeks or 2 years?
Yeah, it's such a short period of time to ask people to just stay inside their house for a minute.
I guess I know, and I completely get what everybody's saying. I guess the point I want to get across is, yes, that would fix it. But what I'm saying is there are going to be cases of people that have very good reasons to do something that are in violation of that rule. Very good reasons that maybe not even are going to affect anybody else. But you still have to look at those things and go, okay, are we okay with that?
It could be, I mean, I don't know if they could come up with a list of guidelines, but it would end up being local authorities that are enforcing it. And I think like 95% of people would be adhering to it. I mean, it seems like there's a pretty general consensus that people are understanding that it's necessary to stay home unless you're, essential personnel.
Unless you want to stand too close to Brad.
Right. Most people are getting it. So I don't think that I don't think the local police forces would be overwhelmed with people going against whatever those guidelines were. And so the police would be coached up on how to proceed. Like, okay, for instance here, if everything was on lockdown, even the grocery stores, you should still be allowed to go out and fish as long as you have the appropriate distance, because there's food in the ocean right over there, and as long as you can go and get it, then you're fine, or if you're in an area where hunting is allowed, well, hunting by nature, you're not next to people, you're out there secluded by yourself, shoot you a deer, great, you got food for the next 6 months. It'd be a case by case basis. Yeah, it should have been done a long time ago. But the scary thing is, I as I'm saying all this is, what if they don't put in the appropriate sunset clauses, and then the authority goes too far, or they try to use it again for the wrong reason in the future because the precedent was set, and then they decide, oh well, this calls for that same thing, and that's
Oh, they always repurpose laws that way to fit whatever the next thing is.
Yeah, but in this
Dave,
case, it seems like it's called for.
Yeah, Dave, you're awful quiet and serious looking right now.
Well, I'm just listening to the chatter back and forth, so I'm trying to keep up.
Come on, Dave. Give us an opinion. I know you're.
Some
I know
of your
you're
own
not.
chatter. We need some of your wisdom, Dave.
Yeah, I know you're not free of opinions on this.
I don't know. This is, we bounced all over from it being I don't know. I can't put all my thoughts in order, so I don't know. Go to somebody else.
I've got more. I will
good.
say that from any angle you look at this, it's horrifying. No matter what decision is made, no matter what is done, the end result is scary. If something did happen where somehow we were able to magically convince everybody in the entire world to just stay home for 3 weeks, who's to say that the governments wouldn't be like, oh, this is nice, I like this, we're able to enforce this, we'll just keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Who's to say that wouldn't happen? And that it wouldn't end up being something like you see in kung fu movies. Like the only one that I can think of right now is, what is it, Ip Man, right? When the people are under the rule of the British people, right? Is that Ip Man, or was that a different movie? Nathan,
I don't know.
It was the Japanese, but the British were there as well.
I heard that man was real good.
Hear me?
Right, so it's like you think about watching movies like that and thinking about watching those people that are oppressed and they have to go to lines to trade fucking shoelaces for rice or whatever it is that they have to do. You don't want to imagine that that's the way that the world is going to end up. But I know that it doesn't matter to say anything like this, but it would just be really great if everybody would just be a human for a minute and just think about what is best for other people and themselves, you know. And yeah, you may have something that's very important that you want to go out and do, but is it worth the fact that it is a heightened risk right now that you can kill someone or yourself eventually be killed by this thing? What is it worth to you?
I really
See, I'm afraid if I answer too much, it'll get too intense.
I
Go ahead,
want to
Dave.
know where you're coming from.
Go ahead, Dave.
I think that this is, you know, and I said it all starts with one person, and then you're responsible within your own community, and then that community grows to your state, and then that grows to, you know, the nation. I'm more of you know, I'm trying to not think conspiracy theory and deal with the science at hand and how it's spread, and as we know, and you should do your part and stay clean and not go to restaurants. Even before any of this happened, and they were asking us to not gather in places, the restaurants were still kind of open and people were still going. I was not. I think that that's my duty, is to not do that. And, you know, people start hoarding. That's, you know, it's a slippery slope. If you can't control yourselves, then you are leaving the government to no other end but to restrict you. If you take it as serious as, you know, your patriotic duty. I mean, you know, I remember after 9/11, everybody, you know, there was American flags going up everywhere, and, you know, and doing what I do. I drove through a subdivision the other day here locally, and I got so angry that it was just some goddamn block party. They were just all hanging out. Their chairs were all together, and I'm thinking, the fuck is going on here? You guys are creating. I mean, maybe you all think that you're not sick, and that's fine, but you know, you're making jokes about got the COVID, and then it's, you know, when all hell breaks loose and one of you does get sick, now it's not so fun being out in the yard, and then you start going, well, how could you have come out there while you were sick? You know, you start. You know,
I was talking to
just stay at home. There were bikes in the road. I mean,
I was seeing house parties everywhere.
Mayhem.
Yep. I was talking to a random guy on Omegle last night, and he was talking about it. And this I didn't realize was echoed by people with an actual voice and presence online. Realized after watching that John Oliver thing, it came out a couple days ago. It's worth a watch, but there is an opinion out there of let it run its course, and yeah, some people are going to die, but the economy is too important. And then, you know, I was talking to this dude, and he was saying things along that line, and I said, yeah, but you probably know people that are immunocompromised, and what if it affects them? And then every time I brought that back up, like, yeah, you know, it's real easy to say that let it run its course, and it's gonna, you know, he said, like, you know, the strong survive, and, you know, that sort of, you know, let nature take its course until it's people, you know.
It's very selfish.
Yeah.
To not think of it. And, you know, I went from saying I'm going to get sick. You know, I'm not going to try to get sick. Actually, I'm going to find creative ways. But I do it from a sense of duty, you know, as, you know, to my parents and to somebody else's parents. And, you know, I don't quite understand why people don't get it. And, you know, I guess if you're not watching it or you don't see the news, you're kind of isolating yourself from the reality. But, you know, ignorance is bliss kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, I get all holier than thou when I say you should just be doing it. You should just do the right thing.
Yeah, the whole everybody stays home no matter what thing it's not going to happen. And I think the only thing that we can do, and I think the only way this can really go, is basically we're just trying to slow down the spread right now enough to get the medical stuff in place, the ventilators, because there's no way of containing this thing now. It's not possible.
Yeah.
It's just slowing it down for a certain amount of time. Once everything gets opened back up, it'll come back. It will, because it's just that transmissible. So the thing is to just get the ventilators, get the beds and stuff in order so that we can then deal with it when it happens. That's just going to be what's going to happen.
Yeah.
There is no let's just quarantine for weeks on end, everybody.
And you know, if you can work, you should. I mean, if you are doing the right thing and, you know, putting money back into the company, if you're one of those people just keeping it chugging right along, you know, and
I just worry that, you know, some people that are still able to work are not taking it seriously enough.
I mean, I'm thrilled to still be able to work.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
I mean, I have, you know, I've got just what I need. I mean, like I said, I'm planning on being sick. So what does that mean? That means I'm not leaving my house. I will, if and when I get sick, I'll do the right thing.
You know, it's 25% of people don't show symptoms.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's 1 in 4 people.
But you're spreading.
Yeah, but you're still spreading. So that's, you know, that scares me. It's like, you know, you work in a place where there's 20 employees, you know, on average, 5 of those employees have it. Or no, that's not right. I'm sorry. It's 25% of people that have it.
I saw somebody post in a chat earlier. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I just realized I was interpreting that wrong. It's not that 25% of people have it and aren't showing symptoms. It's 25% of people that have it don't show symptoms.
Yeah. No, I saw that somebody made this comment on another YouTube chat earlier. They said, "I like my girls like I like my COVID-19, 19 and spreading."
Yeah,
great joke. There's a coronavirus joke.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Now, yeah, I just wish, God damn it, supermarkets are packed still all the time, and I just wish they would adopt my idea of being open 24 hours and limiting the number of people that can enter the store at one time. Why wouldn't you do that? It makes so much more sense. Okay, 20 people inside a Walmart, all those people can be completely distanced from each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Get one of those
if you knock down...
Go ahead.
No, if you knock down the hours, and it's just everybody's in there at the same time. It's crowded as shit.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because people are still going to go to the store.
There's a way you could do it and keep everyone separated. You could, okay, so you get there. Okay, you walk up to I'm going to the supermarket. Oh, wait, they're limiting the amount of people that can. Okay, and they have a take a number. Okay, well, how the fuck am I? Okay, now go sit in your car, and we'll but have like one of those big highway marquees that they can put anything on the sign that they want.
The place is full of goddamn TVs. Put a fucking
there you
TV
go.
out
well,
there.
that's Walmart, but like I'm saying like an actual grocery store. But have one of those and just have it where, numbers are posted on there, and you just periodically you look over there and you see if it's your number, and they're in order so you can see when your number's coming. So you don't have to have people standing outside and trying to keep their, because if there's 200 people that want to go, I don't know how many people are in a Walmart at any given time. I honestly have no idea. Let's say 200. You can't keep those 200 people 6 feet apart in line to get in the door. So let them stay in their car, but have a big display, close to the door, where they can look over there and see if their number is coming or their number's up. And okay, now it's my turn to go walk into the store.
Why wouldn't you just text a number to a number and then?
Oh, but no, I don't want Walmart to have my number.
Why not just make everybody have forced grocery pickup and have the employees or have extra employees go around and be the pickers for the store, and then just make everybody have to pull up and they drop their shit in the car.
Or separate your town into districts of this district is Monday, this district is Tuesday. These are the days you can go to the grocery store.
But then
Everybody's
some
go
of
at the
us
same time.
that are considered essential, we may not get that opportunity because the place may close before we get to go.
Yeah.
Or you could. It's just a thing that
Like, sorry,
your life revolves around now.
I gotta go. Yeah, I gotta go
I
get
think
my
verbal
opportunity.
assault.
It's
Verbal
like
assault
how you
really
get the
should.
vote.
We really should be on Trump's coronavirus task
We
force.
really should be.
Yeah. As a voice for the common man
Yeah.
and woman.
Yeah. The only thing we're
speaking of-
missing is we don't have a voice in here that has lost their job yet.
It's true.
Right.
That's the one thing that's missing.
Famous
Brad
last word.
dodged that bullet.
Oh, yeah.
Man,
Barely, yeah.
just in time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't care about people's feelings anymore. I care about their health.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, isn't it?
Keep it clean.
Becca,
Hmm.
poetry. I want some great uplifting poetry.
I want you to know that I heard you start to say, speaking of the voice for the common people. I knew you were going to say that,
The common
you?
man.
weren't you?
I was actually going to say speaking of women, but
Oh.
yeah. Go on.
But speaking
right.
of the common man, here's Becca.
The common man. This one's called Authority of Fools. There's no chance it's going to go back to normal. The finished product has got to start somewhere. You could contribute. You're a sensible man. Get your obsession straight before everything shuts down. Signs are everywhere, drawn to scale. Covering it up has become a common theme. You've been listening to the instructions, but all you have to show for it so far is a point of impact and the wrong coordinates.
Thank you very much, Becca. Thank you, Haywood Banks, for our theme song and for the face mask tips. Check us out on Patreon. Leave us likes wherever you get your podcasts. Give us a review, please. 5 stars. Subscribe on YouTube. Hit the bell for notifications when we go live.
If you can't seem to find the YouTube channel because we're not big enough to have our own direct URL, just go to twitter.com/_verbal assault_ because we have the link right there. And we also tweet out our live show every week.
Well, guys, we'd be real interested to know what you're wearing on your face, so we know it's something sexy. Could be with tighty whities, could just be, something you found on the side of the road that looks like underwear. Just slap that on your face. It's fine. It's been out in the sun. It's sterile. Why don't you just call up 865-316-6955 and just, send a picture, put it on the Twitter, or call the phone number and say things with your voice, because that's probably going to be the best medium for the voicemail. And it is now officially my birthday, so if you want to send me some masks or toilet paper,
Shit.
tweet
I'm glad
me,
he
bro.
said that because I would not have known. I didn't get anything for you there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm old enough to not expect people to get me things anymore.
Cool.
Well,
All I expect
happy
now
birthday,
is
Brad.
happy birthday and
Happy
maybe a pat on the
birthday.
back.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday!
I
You
give
want
you an-
pats on the back at a time like this?
I give you an
Actually, you're right.
giving him an E-pat.
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 Like
You made it.
ASMR. Yeah.
Just do this to me from like 6 feet away, but make sure you move your hand. Otherwise, if you hold it still, you'll figure it out.
You know what is really kind of cool about the whole 6 feet thing is with two people, their arms stretched out, your faces are still about 6 feet apart with most people, right?
So you could touch fingertips with just about anybody you want to.
It's helpful in our line of work because we can still do if they don't want to do the completely contactless and all that, then we can still adhere to the guidelines by doing a reach and stretch, and we don't have to get too close. And I've been doing a thing, and I don't know if it's helpful, but it might be, and it seems like it would be. If you're talking to someone, don't talk towards them.
Mm-hmm.
Talk off to the side,
What I've been doing.
or look down when you talk.
look to the side and maintain eye contact so they know who you're talking to.
Give
And then when
everyone
you
the
get to
hairy
the
eyeball.
end of your sentence, just tilt your head forward a little bit.
Yeah.
Bonus points if you do it in a southern accent.
Yeah.
Deuces.